said to Michael, I said, wouldn't that be a great resort someday? And he said, don't be silly, Gerald. He said, and I'll tell Sheikh Mohammed it was your idea. Thank you very much, that's very nice. But you know, he was a great man. He is still working for his time, but it's these kind of moments. And I think that it's full on, you know, anybody who's worked in the opening of a hotel, regardless of where it is, and I've done lots of openings, it's something that it gets inside you, you know, it's that you become you put part of yourself into that hotel. And the whole team works together, putting the whole team together. I used to joke that we had a porter cabin on the site, and as we were getting the team together, we were working 7 days a week. So I said, you know, you guys shouldn't complain, you run a 5.5 day a week. And then, you know, you get a half day Thursday, you finish at 6 p.m, and a day off Friday, you finish at lunch. What's the problem? So that's the way we used to work. And these moments were so memorable. Everything, opening the Jumeirah Beach Hotel when it first started, taking all the VIPs, of course, His Highness around, and very much, of course, the opening of the Virgin Island. But they all come in a way that isn't quite as organised as it appears from the company. We counted one day in the Jumeirah Beach Hotel, 6 weeks after we had opened. We took a count of the contractors who were still actually working inside. We had 650 contractors still working in the hotel. So, but we got there.
Let's do a little flashback to the early part of your life. You grew up in Ireland, and any memorable moments there? I'm not
going to tell you about that.
I was thinking, in your early stage of your life, who made the greatest impact in your life? Was your mom and dad, at school? Do you remember?
Of course. I mean,
any defining moments?
Your mom and dad will always make an impact on you. Not so much by what they say, but I think it's always the thing is that as parents, it's what you do and the example you give your children. Because, you know, you can lecture them with kids and say, yeah, go away, Dad. You know, we've heard all of that before. But it's what you do that really impacts children. I mean, my father was a dairy farmer, and that's a hard life, believe me. Thank God I didn't become a dairy farmer. But especially in the west of Ireland, it's not the easiest thing. But the interesting thing was, he would work sometimes a year without a day off. And you would see this work ethic that he always had. And he was a nice man, but a tough man. My mother was a softer, so the soft part comes from her. But we had I went to hotel school in Shannon in Ireland. And it was quite, I guess now looking back, it was quite a modest hotel school, but a good reputation. And it was a 4-year course, but we had a Swiss principal, Jorgen Blum, with a poor man who came over from Switzerland to work in Ireland. Which, you know, believe me, you might know Ireland. That wasn't easy in the 1950s he came over. I went there in the 1970s. And he used to tell us that this Shannon College of Hotel Management is the best hotel school in the world. Oh, we didn't know anything better, we believed him. So our second year was spent on internship working in Switzerland. So I ended up working in Geneva in a restaurant, and this guy came to me one day, another internee from Switzerland, and he said, which hotel school are you from? And I said, Shannon Hotel School. He said, where is that? I said, we haven't heard of Shannon. I said, best hotel school in the world. Nobody had heard of Shannon. But by the time we were finished, they'd heard of Shannon. So these are the kind of things, I believe that man, Jorgen Blum, played a big part in the success that I've had one way or another in my career, in that he instilled incredible self-belief in all of us as students. Though he had picked me out as an absolute hopeless case. He actually told me before he sent me to England, where we had another internship in England, he says, Lawless, I will fix you good and proper in England. But he was that had a big influence as well.
Where did your service orientation come from to join the hotel industry?
I don't know. I mean, it might sound a bit funny to say, but it's very much in the Irish side. We love people, we love chatting, we love telling stories, as you know. And we just like meeting. You know, we are very much made for the hospitality industry. It's just the way we are. You know? So, and I think that's where.
So it was easy.
And I had to prove that I would be a hotelier. My mother said, "Get out of the house and do something." You know? So it was the hotel business.
You first landed in Dubai in 1978. That was pretty adventurous, pretty wild. Young Irish lad turning up in a place which at that stage was very American. How did that happen?
Well, what happened was I was working, as I say, with Forte from 1974, and I had gone through all over the UK. So I'd gone from Southampton to Swindon and ended up in Glasgow of all places, which actually was quite nice. But I kept begging them. I said, look, I have, and I don't know why, but I wanted to work and live abroad, and that's what I wanted to do. And okay, I'm Irish, so UK is abroad for you guys who don't know. Republic of Ireland. But not that much abroad. Sorry, David Burns. It was really important for me to go abroad. I was very fortunate, as I say, behind every successful man there's a surprise woman. So, but I've been engaged since I was 18 years of age, and married since I was 22. And both of us had this burning ambition to work overseas. So I kept pestering my head office in London. Can I go abroad? Can I go abroad? And finally, in exasperation, one day after I turned down a job in Manchester, they said, okay, Gerald, will you go to Dubai? And I said, yes. And I said, where exactly is it? But I was going to Dubai regardless of where it was. And the troopers arrived here in late August, actually it was Ramadan in 1978, and we never got back. Dubai, even then, was a great place. And, the development around the creekside was a bustling, busy area. A lot more developed actually than people give it credit. I mean, there were. You can see the vision that was there from His Highness Sheikh Rashid through Sheikh Mohammed.
You had the Intercontinental Hotel.
The Intercon was already celebrating the fact that it made all its capital back in 2 years. And, that day is definitely gone. But we had the aluminium smelter plant was under construction. Yes. Jebel Ali Port was under construction. The dry docks. You see the reinvestment and the vision that the ruling family have always had for Dubai. It's just amazing.
So let's use that point to fast forward into today and into Dubai's vision for today. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, it's become a nexus, a crossroads, and the various jewels in the crown of Dubai at the moment, all synergizing and coming together and creating this massive accelerator effect. How do you see yourself fitting into that, and how can, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's always been a feature of how we've worked in Dubai, say within our industry, within travel, tourism and hospitality. I recall back in 2001 with the terrible event of 9/11. Everybody comes together, all the hotels, all the tour operators, all the travel operators, all working under the auspices of the government body of DTCM. And it's this public-private partnership that has, I think, worked so phenomenally well for Dubai. We got together, we said our Khaled and Salim say, okay, you guys, you got to give free rooms, we do fam trips. Emirates Airlines gave hundreds of seats, we gave hundreds of rooms. DTCM, they put $20 million on the table to spend on promotion. And I think it's always in adversity that Dubai bounces back. And Dubai shows that it is much deeper and much more solid than a lot of people realize, even as we're seeing now. And this continues to today. There is this public-private partnership. We're all in it together. Look at the efforts that have been made for 2020. Everybody wants to do it, everybody wants to succeed. And there's everybody who comes there just jumps on that particular very
absolutely
positive
that energy is there.
The energy is there.
The can-do attitude that we see all the time. Now, we'll go back to some of the other issues, but one last question. What is your growth strategy now? Are you looking for major cities, landmark areas, and are you just growing rapidly the way you are? I mean, we've seen some of that. Or are you looking at changing your strategy? I mean, is it an asset-light strategy like some of the hotels do, or you're owning your own hotels? Because I saw a lot of management contracts.
Well, it always has been our strategy actually to develop. We have the platform of the owned hotels here in Dubai. Our CFO calls them our battleship hotels, but they're very important for us in terms of our profitability and everything we do. But we've always said that, just like so many others like Emirates, we want to build a brand out of Dubai. And we put the value by running other people's hotels. And that's what we'll continue to do. In certain cases, we might take a lease. In other cases, we might participate in minority equity. But very much, we want to build a brand. We want to build a luxury brand of world-class hotels. And we are very keen that it's not just growth for growth's sake. I think that a quality brand, a luxury brand, isn't just built on marketing. It's actually built on a quality product. I'm sure when Gucci first started making shoes, they didn't say, well, we'll make any kind of shoe and we just advertise. No, they made really good shoes. So all the top brands are based on the quality of the original product. And that's why products that we have here in Dubai are very much the example. We go to China, we talk to people, and we go around and say, you know, we're from Jumeirah, and we've got this hotel group, and wouldn't you like us to manage your hotel? And they say, well, I don't really know Jumeirah. So we say, come to Dubai. So we invite them to Dubai, and we rarely fail to convert them. They're always converted, and they come into Dubai, they see what we've done in Dubai, and then that helps them to get our management contracts. Will we grow in other ways? Will we do a second brand? We don't know at this stage, but we certainly wouldn't discount it completely. What will we do with the restaurant brands that we have built? We have developed a lot of restaurants. We have a burning ambition to be recognized as a company that really does excellent food and beverage. Food and beverage is important for hotels, particularly in the luxury segment, where you actually encourage people who don't stay in your hotels to come in. 20, 30 years ago, a lot of people never would think of dining in hotels. But now it's quite common. People come in for the dining experience, and not only in Dubai, but actually worldwide. Like in our Carlton Tower in London, the Rib Room is one of the most famous restaurants in London.
Because one of the experiments, I remember in 2004 or 5, your team actually approached me to help with Medina Jumeirah. You had 42 outlets there, and 10 were doing really well, and the other 50 were like 32 were struggling, and now you just changed it around. So how did you take so many brands, some own, some franchise, some position, and pull them all together? It's an amazing experience.
Well, we've done a combination. We recognise that really it's a real estate play as well, particularly around Medina Jumeirah and soon Medina Jumeirah, where right from the beginning we invited tenants to come in and lease out spaces. And then we did some of our own brands. And even over the years, we said, well, that's not working as well as it should, but we've got somebody who really has a great brand, and they want to lease the space and they want to come in. And we're fully open to doing that. We really look very carefully at the return on investment. We look at, well, what do we get if we rent that space? Now, there are core restaurants and core areas that will always remain part of the luxury product, part of the quality of our hotels that we will never lose out. But certainly there are parts of hotels that we have shown over the years that we are very broad-minded in doing that. And that actually increases the offering for our guests and for the community as well, who come into our hotels. They know we're not going to take a bad operator, and that we will be able to continue to develop in that way.
One of your favorite topics, talking about the uniqueness of Jumeirah, and you have your tagline, "Stay different." What does that mean to you? What should that mean to us?
Well, we came up with this about 7 years ago, not long after we joined Dubai Holding, where, you know, when we got great encouragement from Dubai Holding to really develop and evolve and expand and achieve our potential as a brand. And in doing that, we said, Jumeirah, stay different. It's not a grammatical error. We're saying, you as a guest, you are different, you are unique, and we want you to stay that way. But we want you to stay with a company that really recognizes this uniqueness. We recognize as well that in the luxury segment, that each hotel should have its own identity. Each hotel should be part of its own community. We don't want the cookie-cutter hotels. We want to encourage innovation amongst our general management, our general managers, to be able to say, well, I know my Emirates Towers is different to Jumeirah Beach Hotel. I don't have to do things exactly the same as Jumeirah Beach Hotel. Similarly, when we open a place in China, we think it must have very much a sense of place within the community. It must be reflected like we do through art in Frankfurt and in the Jumeirah Creekside Hotel. We use art to connect the whole ethos of the hotel into the community, into the location. So each hotel is unique, both architecturally and in many ways in how it's run. We don't even say to our management, you have to use the same bathroom amenities in every hotel. But what we do say is that we have the golden thread of the Jumeirah culture going through every single hotel. And that's why I talked earlier about our hallmarks. Our hallmarks, our guiding principles, they're not negotiable. They have to be applied in every single hotel. And we really do emphasize to our colleagues that they have to deliver on the 3 hallmarks about everything else.
Now, a lot of people here are sort of from small, medium enterprises, they're entrepreneurs, and how do they engage with a brand like Jumeirah now? Because a lot of people feel very intimidated and so on. Could you just tell us how one can engage with you?
They feel intimidated.
They feel intimidated.
I feel intimidated. I have such respect for entrepreneurs. I have such respect for people who have said, yes, I'm going to try. People who are not afraid to fail. You might like to fail, but you get out there and you do it. And I genuinely have huge respect for anybody who has started their own business and has either succeeded or even failed. Just to have the courage to get up there and to do it, I think you deserve a big applaud yourselves for actually doing that. And it's something that people like me who have had the privilege, yes, I look upon myself as an entrepreneur, but I work within the security of the salary every month of knowing as long as I do the job, with a bit of luck, I'll stay employed. So I do think very much that any business community, any community owes it to small and medium-sized entrepreneurs and enterprises to support them. And I think His Highness's support here has been huge as well in Dubai. You are the backbone of a business community in making things happen. We have had this year almost 400,000 transactions year to date already in purchasing within Jumeirah. And I think many of you in this room, even your suppliers of us, through tour operators, through items, through furniture, as we develop. And certainly we will always look within the community when we look building hotels, when we're talking to our developers and our contractors and the people who do the procurement, that we do look at the local community to see what is available within there. So I would say, well done to you guys. I feel intimidated talking to you.
Jumeirah apparently has over 1,500 suppliers working with them from the UAE at the moment, so it's a very, very significant...
1,573, thanks, sorry. I'm reading and you're remembering.
I'm remembering, photographic memory. Yeah. So, with these, just staying with the SME community, what is the multiplier effect that you feel that the tourism industry and the travel industry just creates and amazingly develops?
Well, they say like 3 or 4 times, but there's also a saying that for every one tourism job, it can create 35 jobs. So one tourism job can create $35 expenditure. Tourism is amazing. Tourism it's a direct export. I recently asked the tourism minister in Ireland, they were talking about exports. I said, I presume tourism is an export. No, it's not measured as an export. But it should be. Every foreign visitor who comes to this country or any other country, it's actually putting $1 or a pound or a euro or whatever injection straight into the business community. And that's why the multiplier effect is, if you think we build a hotel, everything you have in life goes into that hotel, from beds to wash-out basins, to furniture in the restaurants, everything, it's all there.
Any special initiatives that you have, I know you have some with the Emirati side, any special initiatives to develop entrepreneurship or engage with the entrepreneurial and SME community?
Well, we will continue to do that. We've been very keen, particularly in Dubai, and I'm really pleased to see that it's now been taken up. We've been lobbying for a good many years that this industry in Dubai needs, and I'd say the travel, tourism and hospitality, not just hotels, actually needs vocational education. Not every kid wants to go to university. Not every school leaver should go to university. And we should be able to look first at our own community to be able to hire people before we start looking overseas. And that's regardless of whether you're Emirati or whether you're an expatriate living here. And finally, we're looking now, there's a good possibility of vocational education being set up here in Dubai, where we would really look to, we want to encourage school leavers to come into our industry. We in Jumeirah would, and the other hotels as well, particularly we're trying to lead it in Jumeirah, we would provide opportunities for young school leavers to work, say to attend a course for a year and a half. They would get city and guilds or other qualifications at the end. We're also talking to Australian vocational institutions to help us set up here. And then ultimately they will work in whatever they want to work in, whether they want to work as a chef, whether they want to work in sales and marketing or bookkeeping or any of the areas that I mentioned earlier. They can do this, but they get work experience and educational experience at the same time. And that's one of the great initiatives that we're driving very hard. And we started it on the Emirati side at the moment, in that this year we went to the schools, to the secondary schools, not just to the universities. And we've now taken on 17 Emiratis who are working with us straight from school, straight into the business. They're in the Emirates Academy of Hospitality Management, which is our university for hotel management, which I now think is the best hotel school in the world after Shannon. But
nobody knows about it yet.
But yeah, I don't. But we have these school leavers now who are on a foundation course in the Emirates Academy. spend about 3 days working in the area of their choice, and then go back into the school to get to understand what it means to work in the business, to hone their English skills, their language skills, and then to really start developing in the chosen area they want to go. And we think these laboratories will be fantastic to have because they will be able to work straight into any area within the organisation. And that's something that will be expanded eventually with the vocational colleges. You know, it hasn't got off the ground yet, but they will be set up. But I think that it will happen. That's one of the initiatives. I'm not saying it's happening, but it's very close to coming to fruition. And I hope that we're getting amazing support now, leadership now. We're supporting organisations such as Dubai Holding and the Dubai Department of Tourism and Commerce Marketing and the government.
Brilliant. Now, you were very early adopters as far as the digital revolution is concerned, and you became, and the Middle East is not that, hasn't engaged that much as far as hotel bookings are concerned, but you took the lead on that. What inspired you to do that? Because you were in a small environment at that stage in the mid-2000s, early 2004-05. But you got into digital very, very successfully.
Well, I think to survive in the modern era, if you don't do it, you're finished, you're not going to do it. I mean, if you just look at the number of people now are so knowledgeable about your hotel before they come and visit you, regardless of whether you call yourself 7-star or 1-star. The guest knows about it. They're on TripAdvisor, they're looking, and they're talking about it, and they're posting when they're in the hotel. It is so, so important, and we had such success from the website, because it's inconceivable that you would not be fully digitally connected. I mean, even our cars now from many of the hotels, and soon all of them, are all Wi-Fi. So you sit in your car and you can get onto your Jumeirah Wi-Fi. You come into the lobby of the hotel, you get onto your Jumeirah Wi-Fi. A few years ago, we were all charging everybody for it. Now it's free. It's a human right, virtually.
Absolutely. It is, absolutely.
To be connected. And that will continue. We're very pleased. We've just spent a lot of money updating and upgrading our website. We now have our website in Arabic, we've got it in German, we've got it in Mandarin. So we're looking very carefully where are our market sources, where are they coming from, and how do we need to communicate, how can we make it easy for our guests to buy. And it creates a lot of challenge, particularly when it comes to advertising and to promotion. You know, do you go into a magazine? You know, do you go online? Where do you spend your marketing money in order to be able to penetrate the market and get in there?
Now, I have a funny story, but before I get to that story, you are very fond of Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy was a great golfer, and he won the US Open last year and became #1. And he was a young man, and you sort of nurtured him and mentored him. The story really was, and I just wanted to share this with you, was that the Jumeirah.com had one of the highest spikes on their website when Rory McIlroy won Formula One. When he won the US Open. And when he did, he was wearing a Jumeirah cap. And people were wondering, like, who is this Jumeirah? And they all wanted to go and Google it immediately. And apparently almost millions and millions came up. And he's moved on since. But one of the stories I wanted to develop with him, with my Bloomberg connection, is to make a program with Rory swimming with the turtles and doing something.
I mean, he's a great guy. I don't know if many of you play golf, and I'm sure you haven't got time, but I'm sure you do. But I mean, our previous CFO, Alistair Murray, comes from the same town in Northern Ireland as Rory. And Alistair knew Rory very well over the years, and knew the family, more the family, I suppose, than Rory. But Alistair would come to me and go all misty-eyed about this great new Irish guy coming up who's an amateur and has won the British Open Championship from Northern Ireland and all this kind of stuff at the amateur level. And he said, we've got to sponsor him. And I said, wow, this is different. You got the CFO coming to the CEO telling him to spend money, so that's nice. But Alistair actually caddied for Rory when Rory played in the Desert Classic as an amateur for the first year before he went professional. And I guess the deal was done on the golf course as an alternate. And after that, when Rory went professional at the age of 18, we signed him up. And we had him for 5 years. And one of 5 years, we actually took him, we took him from amateur to world's #1. And that's quite something for an 18-year-old to a 23-year-old. We're extremely proud of him. apart from the fact that he's Irish, of course. And don't worry about his present performance, or he'll be back. You know, he's still only 24 years of age, and he's a great guy, great ambassador.
He is.
And he was such an ambassador for Jumeirah, and indeed for Dubai, when we had Rory here. And he'll be here for the race to Dubai in November, so he'll stay with us again.
Brilliant. And you've done a lot of very special initiatives, and what I would call little fiat stunts. And you've seen the helipad. I saw an interview with the tennis, and Federer and Agassi were playing each other. And I saw an Agassi interview where he said that he was actually not running too fast because he was scared he would go over. So literally, so anyway, but the stunt has become amazing, and the whole world knows about it.
We had it, Tiger Woods was the first one. But actually, the helicopter that took the gyroscope and every color didn't work very well. It was a bit shaky. So the Andre Agassi and Roger Federer became the defining event on the helipad. And as many of you know, Roger Federer spends quite a bit of time in Dubai and often plays the tennis courts. But and he is a truly gentleman in the sport. And one day we all had the privilege to be invited to have lunch with him. And afterwards, he dropped in a calendar into the reception of the corporate office that we had near Medina Jumeirah. And when I came back into the office, the receptionist said, "Oh, this is for you, Mr. Lawless." I said, "Thank you very much." So I opened it. It was a calendar that just said, "From Roger to Gerald, thank you very much." And I said, "That's very nice." And then I said to the receptionist, I said, "Who left this in?" She said, "Some guy called Roger."
A lot of these ideas seem very innovative. They all come from within your organizations, or are wonderful people that are here. Could they be lobbying these things? Do you have, I don't know, a method of absorbing this within your value chain?
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be 10 ideas in this room right now.
I'm sure, and I think that's always a challenge as you get bigger. We have 14,000 employees now, and you know it's always this problem to listen to ideas, not only from outside but from within your colleagues themselves. I mean, we did an event, and actually we should do it again a few years ago, where we did a CEO event where we asked some CEOs from Dubai to come and spend a day with us, and just to talk about Jumeirah, and to get their feelings about it. And it was just truly amazing, all this brain power we got in the room. We had about 40 of them. And we started the day off by saying, okay, first hour, get it off your chest. You know, what is annoying you about Jumeirah? What do you not like? And one of them came up with a very good thought and said, look, you see this second hallmark you have, where you say, never say no as the first response. But the most important thing about that is that you must empower your junior people to be able to make a decision, to say yes to me. And you don't empower your junior people. So I might have spent about $700 or $800 staying in one of your rooms for the night. And I come down in the morning and I start saying, they say, did you have anything from your minibar? And, oh yeah, I think I had a Coca-Cola. And then they have to call and I say, no, I didn't have a Coca-Cola. And then they have to call and see, did I have a Coca-Cola? Well, how much does a Coke cost in the market? 45, 50 cents. And you're arguing the toss about whether or not I've had that. You know, your person must be empowered. You must give them an amount that they can. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but you must give them an amount that they can say they can decide and make the decision. And it's these kind of ideas that come from engaging, again, with the community. Also, we have systems where we encourage our employees to give us ideas. And we have what we call colleague consultative committees, where actually the representatives are actually elected in each department to sit within each hotel, and they sit with the management once every 6 weeks to discuss, first of all, areas of concern, but also to come forward with ideas and new concepts. So I think it's very important, and it's something that one must continuously work on, to try to engage people, to listen to ideas, and to have a system that you can actually start the filtration system of these ideas.
Which is an interesting segue for me to talk about your management style. You just spoke about empowering people all the way down to the line. Is that your management style? Is that how you, because you have some crazy targets to achieve, and constant growth, and best in the world, and some very interesting, inspirational visionary bosses. So, what do you do?
I think if you asked me 10 years ago, if you asked my colleagues 10 years ago, they say he's a blooming control freak and he never lets to do anything without knowing. But you know, you do mellow with age, believe it or not, and you do realise that, you know, and it's something that genuinely, and I truly, truly believe in it. If you don't employ people that are better than you, if you don't employ people that challenge you, then you're never going to take your business to the level that it can achieve. And you've also got to realise there comes a time in your life as well when you can say, well, that guy's a bit more active than I am. And use it. It's part of the job of management. Peter Drucker, the famous guru, the saying I always like is that management is getting things done through other people. And it is, but then you have to have excellent people to get that done. And I believe no matter how small you are as a business, yes, you want to be hands-on, and yes, you want to understand what's happening, but you've got to give people space, and you've got to let people see that they themselves can achieve their objectives. But I do think we need a framework to be very clear about what those objectives are. And then I think that as you develop and get bigger, the strategic dimension of one's job becomes a much larger area.
I'm sure a lot of people here might be thinking, like, should we apply for a job? What are the kind of, because they've seen this amazing story and an amazing future, what kind of attributes are you looking for in young people, in intelligent people who would love to join Jumeirah?
I think first and foremost is attitude. And, you know, if you really think that you don't like working hard, you know, what business do you not work hard at? I have a son who's a lawyer, and, you know, he's down in Abu Dhabi, and he comes up on Fridays to spend time with his girlfriend, and he ends up working in our study on the phone all day and working, and they work sometimes from 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's not just the hotel business that really is demanding. I think nowadays every business is demanding an executive, but you've got to have the positivity, you've got to have the right attitude, and above all, I think you've got to have ambition for yourself, as well as what you want to do. You know, integrity goes without saying. I think you have to have that, but you will have that if you're motivated. And in our business, it's truly a dynamic business. It continues to expand, it continues to grow, and it is so rewarding. I always say to people, you know, the great thing about it, if you're working, for example, in a hotel, which has been most of my experience, you know, you can be in a really bad mood. You can be fed up going in for the day, and then a guest wants to see you, and they're so happy because they're on holiday, they're having a good time, they want to have a good time. Your colleagues who are working there are working at making people enjoy themselves. And you're not going to make people enjoy themselves with a long face and a scowl. So you've got to start smiling. And you know what? It's infectious. It does work, and it does make you very positive. I've always said to my children, if you work in the hotel business, you will never be lonely, you will never be alone. Most importantly, you will work with such positive and such good-minded, well-minded people, happy people. That's great.
I mean, your son, you said, was a lawyer. I mean, imagine a lawyer being called Lawless. That's insane.
Well, my wife's a lawyer as well.
So she's a Lawless too.
So she's a lawyer. So my youngest son actually is in hotel school, studying to be a hotelier, the poor guy. He says one day, maybe I'll become a lawyer also, and we can call it Lawless, and Mum.
Now, I just wanted to use one last metaphor, because I know you love skiing, it's one of your passions, and that management is a little bit like skiing. You know, you wear the right gear, you train yourself a wee bit, and you just go down.